what we've seen here in the past few weeks, Jonathan, and nowhere even to the first game of the season, right?
Yeah, we've seen this offense for the Cardinals. They've had points in the season where they seemed very potent, but that is not the case tonight. The defensive line and the front seven for the Panthers are big, strong, and they are pretty athletic as well. And then their secondary is big and athletic as well. So I think they believe they can just leave their secondary out to cover by themselves and then use the big power up front.
Gonzalez is into the shotgun formation. He's going to keep this one as he does normally. 72 is right after him. He has been all over the place tonight for the Panthers. 72, René Perez.
René Perez is a big man to block as he plays on the edge. So a lot of times he's lined up with a tight end or a tackle. He already has an angle to the outside. This time he goes unblocked as the read. We've seen Gonzalez. He's taken the read several times for himself when I think a lot of times – or tonight, he should have handed off a few times. And there will be a false start right there. But we've seen it throughout the night that he's been taking it himself when the defensive ends have not really been attacking on the backside that strong. And that time he absolutely has nowhere to go as 72 was free, and then one of the defensive backs had broken off of their block as well.
So we're going to go down on a 2nd and 11 there, but now they have a 5-yard false start penalty. It's going to take them back to 2nd and 16. So the ball now is on the 28-yard line for the Cardinals, and right off the bat, they start off with a penalty. And we noticed a lot in the first half, they're getting a lot of these little 5-yard infractions. So they'll start the second half off in the same fashion. Michael Gonzalez now looking to throw. Wants to throw downfield, has a receiver open, but it's intercepted by the Panthers, number 17. Number 17, he's up on his feet trying to cross that 45 marker. He does not. Is tackled by number 23, Fidencio Gonzalez, who is the intended receiver. But that is an interception for Ethan De Luna of the Panthers.
And that was really an easy interception for De Luna as Gonzalez just did not put enough on the ball. It looked like he did not square up right enough as he let go of the ball. He was being chased a little bit. There was a little bit of pressure, but I think he didn't turn his hips enough to get the full explosion on the throw. He had his receiver open. I thought it was going to go for a big play, but it was a bad throw by Gonzalez and intercepted. And great field position now for these Weslaco.
So Rodriguez comes in, and the ball's on the ground. Fumble on the handoff there to his running back. But it looks like the Panthers will retain possession.
And they're going to be upset at that one because it looked like there was a lot of space to run there as the interior of that offensive line did a great job of blocking. And then the back that was pulling just cut the end on the other side. There was a lot of space for him. They'd been waiting for a big play all night. With this offense, you kind of get 2-3,
right.
2-3 all night, and then suddenly you'll break for a big one. That might have been their opportunity there, and they just missed it.
2nd and 10 now for the Panthers, sending a running back in motion backwards in a sense. Rodriguez handoff 28. 28 is going to be tackled pretty quickly there by number 2 by the 100 Cardinal defense, Adrian Vasquez.
And right there, Vasquez just goes completely unblocked. As several players penetrate, and then he just comes and meets him right at the line of scrimmage, and maybe even a little bit back, just forces the 3rd and long now. You know, that fumble right there could be what stops this drive because now they're 3rd and long with this type of offense.
3rd and 10 and 10 and a half or so. Rodriguez looking to pass. Overthrows his running back to the outside as he is under some very heavy pressure by Gasca, number 90.
They decide to go play action, but Gasca does not look fooled. These big offensive linemen from Weslaco, they're strong up front, but Gasca's speed, he breaks out with a speed rush along the edge. It looks like the quarterback, as he's making the fake, he has to go deep into the backfield. Even if the tackle had really done a great job of the steps, which he did not do there, but even if he did take some steps the right way, it would have been hard for him to make that block, as we do know that Gasca is relentless when he gets into pass rush mode.
4th and about 10 and a half now, so the punt comes up, and it's a high punt. This is probably going to be the better punt of the night for the Panthers, but it takes a Cardinal bounce, then another Panther one. It's going to come down about the 12-yard line, so the Panthers are actually able to pin the Harlingen Cardinals deep. After that interception by the Panthers, I will mention that 2 long pass attempts by the Cardinals ended up in interception, Jonathan, and so just, you know, does that kind of keep you away from trying that pass game?
I think it will. You know, we saw the Cardinal offense. They've tried 2 different quarterbacks now to go deep. I said these big defensive backs for Weslaco seem to be very capable. They seem to be moving very well. And then now we see that they do have good ball skills as well. So they will take it when it gets thrown in the air sometimes.
1st and 10 for the Cardinals. A ball on the 12-yard line. Tienda trying to find some space. Spins out of a tackle up to the 20. Bulldozing his way. Another spin out to the 29-yard line goes Tienda. That's a gain of about 15 yards for the running back.
And we finally see Tienda do a little bit of what we saw last week. The offensive line does a great job. He's not met until he's crossing the line of scrimmage, and then he does a great job of breaking tackle. Tienda is very effective once he gets some momentum, a clear momentum. A lot of times tonight he's had to jump over bodies. Once he has to jump over a body, he loses all his momentum. That time he does not.
And here we go. Tienda again bouncing into the right side, has space on the outside. Past the 35, getting close to that first down marker, will be thrown out of bounds. That's another gain of 9 yards or so for Leo Tienda.
And again, once Tienda gets going, it's very hard to bring him down. Once he gets to full speed, when he gets there, and he does get there quickly, it's going to be hard to get him down, making him go backwards as he falls forward once again. 2nd and 1, 8:42 here. It looks like the Cardinal offense is finally getting the ball moving here on this drive. The last 3 possessions, the Cardinals had a penalty, hurting their offensive chances. So far, so good on this drive. No penalties so far. 2nd
and 1 now for the Cardinals. Gonzalez, shotgun formation, keeps it this time, following Tienda. Tries to bounce outside, but he'll be tackled for a loss of maybe 1, even 2 yards as Gonzalez tries to break it out. Nowhere to run.
With the closing of the second half, we saw that play going really well for them. He fakes it and then gets Tienda blocking up front. But this time, the edge of Weslaco, they had been waiting to meet their blockers at the line of scrimmage. This time, they attack across the line of scrimmage, and that forces Gonzalez to break extra wide on the edge, and the entire defense gets there.
3rd and 2 now for the Cardinals. 8 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter. It's still 0-0 ball game here at Bogus Stadium. Gonzalez, handoff. Tienda hit in the backfield quickly. He's going to lose 2 yards on that run, and that'll bring up a 4th down for the Cardinals.
And here we see them. It looked like they did an edge blitz right here. We've seen them all night attacking with just their power at the line of scrimmage, relying on those big defensive linemen to just make plays. Now we see them adding a little bit extra pressure. I think they've recognized that their defensive backs are all good on their own. They can start applying pressure across the line of scrimmage instead of waiting for these Cardinals right at the line of scrimmage.
Brian Guerra, number 20, back to receive this punt. Has the Cardinal punters right about the 24-yard line. It's a good-looking punt. Going to come down right about the 30-yard line or so. Doesn't quite get to the 29. And so the Panthers will take over here from the 30-yard line and trying to get something going here. Last time they tried to capitalize off an interception. Could not capitalize on that one, and so going to try to get that offensive going here. Again, you know, we talk about the passing game. It's really been non-existent. 2 long attempts for the Cardinals end up in interceptions. And for the Weslaco Panthers, I think 2 long attempts have ended up being overthrown.
Yeah, I think out of 4 attempts, we have 1 completion and 5 attempts. We have 1 completion, 2 interceptions, and 2 incompletions on the night. So the passing game has not been there for either team. 2 turnovers for the Cardinals.
Big hit in the backfield is number 25 for the Panthers, Jonathan Martinez, and he's going to lose a yard on that one as he's stuck quickly as soon as he gets that handoff.
And just a great job by the interior defense. There's absolutely nowhere for him to go. He's met quickly by 1 defender. The defender takes him down easily. But even if he was to break that tackle, he wasn't going anywhere. It's just a multitude of Cardinals free all around him.
All right, 2nd down, about 11 to go now for the Panthers. Ball's on the 30-yard line. Rodriguez handoff, right and left. That's Martinez, number 28. Gonzalez that time on that carry. And he's going to lose about 2 yards on that carry, Jonathan. Nowhere to go.
And it looked like there was just some missteps on his part. As soon as he caught the ball, he was starting to trip. But there was really nowhere for him to go again, as these edge players and the defensive line on this drive, they're just winning all of their battles as there are many free defenders coming after the ball carrier.
Well, that's going to be a timeout on the field as first time out of the second half here. And just to kind of play it out for you, 0-0 here, no score yet. We're already 6 minutes into the third quarter, and we still have yet to see anybody get on the board. We have had 2 attempted field goals for the Cardinals. Both of them were missed, and really the offenses have not been able to get anything going. It has been a defensive struggle here on this field tonight for both of these ball clubs.
It's been very interesting. The battle has really all been played at the line of scrimmage, and so far tonight, both defenses have really been winning that battle. And I'm looking at the sideline, you know, it's kind of a matchup, totally different styles, as Weslaco have big, raw power in all of their offensive line and defensive line. On defense, that seems to be winning for them, but on offense, that power for Weslaco is being matched by the athleticism of the defensive line by the Cardinals, and they're just quickly, as soon as the ball snapped, they're meeting their offensive linemen and getting a lot of penetration through the gaps.
3rd and 13 coming up for the Panthers, and the Panthers were the ones who burned the first time out of the second half. Wide pitch out to the running back, trying to find some gaps on the outside to number 20, Brian Guerra, and they're going to give him a good gain of about, what, 8 or 9 yards on that one, Jonathan, but it's still going to be about a 4th and 4.
Yeah, as we watch on the replay, he has plenty of defenders. They start cutting the guys on the edge, which is what I said you normally see a lot, even within the offensive line. The offensive line don't cut a lot of the players, but once these backs get on the edge, they're diving at the feet of the linebackers. Even once the linebacker is able to jump over them, he's lost all his speed and momentum, and the runner is easily able to get the edge, but he's only able to get about 8 or 9 yards, which is not enough for the first down, and another 3 and out for Weslaco.
All right, Felix Herrera, number 6, back deep to return this one. This is going to be a good punt. This one will be returned. Return about the 25, starts flag on the field already, out to the 40, trying to find some space to run, but there is a flag on the field. A little bit of altercation as well.
Yeah, on the flag, I believe, will go on the against the receiving team, as the gunner on the edge, as he was fighting his block, he started to go right through the offensive player, and the offensive player held on to him, brought him all the way to the ground. It should be an easy holding call against the Cardinals, but we'll see what the referee saw on that one.
So, Matthew, what was the score on the first game of the season, Matthew? You remember that?
Yes, sir. In the first game of the season, the Cardinals had won the previous meeting 30-29.
30-29. I mean, it was a close ball game, right? It came down to the very end. And, you know, so far, folks, in this ball game, we're still at 0-0. So 1 point decided the first matchup. And right now, we're not seeing any give from either of these defenses. And so it's getting pretty close here. Yeah, Matthew, tell us about that right there. I know you noticed a little stat there that you picked up.
Well, the first meeting between these two, the offensive coordinators have not really been calling pass plays, as they only threw as the Panthers threw 5 attempts and the Cardinals threw 5 attempts this previous meeting.
Well, we're seeing a replay of that again. Thank you, Matthew, for bringing up those stats for us. And really, we're about the same thing here. I think we got about 2 or 3 passes for the Cardinals, another 2 or 3 for the Panthers or so, somewhere in there. And so we're seeing a repeat of that first matchup. It was all running pretty much, and we're seeing that again here tonight. The Cardinals do get off their first down here and gain about 4 yards on it. And so they're able to move the ball. Ball's now on the 21-yard line. 5:28 left to go in the third quarter. Still scoreless here at Bogus Stadium as we bring you live coverage, live audio of this playoff game between the Cardinals and the Panthers. Gonzalez now. Fumble on the play. Gonzalez trying to pick it up. This is going to be Panther football as Gonzalez is not able to pick it up. Jonathan, Panthers going to have some excellent field position inside the 14-yard line on that fumble.
Well, we have not been able to see the Panthers make any positive traction in the offense, but now they will have the ball in the red zone. We've only seen them get about 3 first downs, but with 1 first down, they're in first and goal position. So we have to see. We've seen 2 passing turnovers for the Cardinals. Now we see 1 in the rushing game. Turnovers could be what loses them the game here tonight if Weslaco maybe gets some points on the board here.
Weslaco now going to number 28 on that handoff. That's Eric Gonzalez. And is that a fumble on the field waiting for the official call? Cardinals say they have it.
Cardinals say they have it. The pile had already been stopped for a while, so it may just be down because But here we watch on the replay, he gets tackled. He goes down pretty quickly, or he gets put up pretty quickly, but he does lose the ball before coming down, but his momentum had already been stopped, and they do start the next play, so Weslaco's ball.
Well, I tell you what, the Cardinals come right back out with a vengeance, and I believe that's number 55, David Cantu there on the big hit in the backfield. But yeah, like you said, the ball did come out. We did see that on the replay. But if they blew the whistle ready for forward progress, then it doesn't matter whether or not the ball came out, and that's what they're calling. So either way, it's now a 3rd down and 10. As the Cardinals trying to make a big stop here, the Weslaco Panthers getting a huge break on that fumble. And this is the closest they've been able to get to the end zone all night long. They can smell that goal line now. But they're 3rd and 10 on the 14 and still have a ways to go against this really stingy defense for the Cardinals. Paulo Rodriguez under center now, I formation, sends the receiver, and he's tackled quickly in the backfield, but the ball's already handed off, and the ball carrier rumbles down to about the 9-yard line.
So the ball will be at the 9-yard line, and what a beautiful job by the defensive lineman that got pressure on the quarterback. It just was not quick enough as he was able to get the ball off. Weslaco's lucky that the play was designed to give it to the upback, because if it was to anyone else, it would have been a big tackle for a loss. And here we see Weslaco's first shot at putting some points on the board, as they will be going for the 3 with the field goal from about the 8-yard line.
Edward Limas now to attempt this field goal. Remember, Harlingen just missed 2, but the Panthers score on this one, and they're the first team to put points up on the board. It is good. 3-0. The Weslaco Panthers go ahead at 3:20 in the 3rd quarter.
Well, some games are won, some games are actually lost. Right now, the Cardinals' turnovers have been terrible tonight, as this last one was right there in their own red zone. Gives Weslaco 3 points. They still have less than 100 yards, but they do have the lead for the night now after the turnovers.
I tell you what, Matthew was talking about the stats earlier, and it's really a replication of that first meeting. However, minus all the points scored, man, because when you're looking at a 30-29 ball game, that's 4 touchdowns plus for each team, and no one has been able to see the end zone here tonight. But 2 missed field goals by the Cardinals, 3 turnovers by the Cardinals, and Weslaco just hung in now, and now they get points on the board with that 3-point field goal by Limas, and they go ahead here with 3:20 left to go in the 3rd quarter. We have a ball game, folks, and it's a defensive-minded ball game so far. Panthers getting ready to kick this one off as we have back to return for the Cardinals. Number 1, René Medina, and I believe number 23, Fidencio Gonzalez. Here goes the kick, and it is up. Looks like Medina will get a shot at this one if he picks it up, and he does at the 1-yard line. Brings it out past the 10-15 now. Breaks to the inside, flirting with that 20-yard line. Gets past it out to the 22-yard line.
He just does a great job right there on the return, making sure he got to some decent point for this offense. We've seen the offense, they've struggled to be consistent tonight, or both these teams have struggled offensively, but Weslaco has been able to force some turnovers, or rather the offense of the Cardinals has been giving up turnovers against this Weslaco defense. The Cardinals really need to get some positive movement here, as this game is going to be very limited in the amount of possessions, as both these teams run the ball very strongly, or they've been running the ball all night, so the clock has just continued to roll and roll and roll. And Matthew, can you give us an update on some scores from across the valley that matter towards this matchup?
Well, we have a score for Laredo United and La Jolla. Laredo United is up at halftime 42-7.
42-7 at the half for Laredo United over La Jolla, and that's important, right? Because the winner tonight will get the winner of that ball game. So far, from what it looks to us, is United is in that cruise control position. Of course, still all have to play, so can't rule La Jolla out. But one thing I do know about the history of United is just that they were able to put up some outrageous numbers, man. They pass down the field. It's like a track field, track meet when they get on the field. And so, Jonathan, kind of looking ahead, I mean, looking at the style of both of these teams, I mean, really tonight, they look really evenly matched. I mean, it's just running the football and stout defense. You bring in that into a high-octane passing offense, and it's going to be an interesting ball game.
Yeah, and those high-octane offenses versus stout defense, a lot of times you really don't know who's going to come out on top right there. And if the Cardinals advance or Weslaco advance, they will be tested in their secondaries.
Exactly right. Have not been tested too much tonight, as both of them running the ball a lot. Tienda, speaking of, off to the right-hand side now. That's the speed that we are used to seeing from Tienda. He's going to bull forward about a gain of 15 yards on that big run by Leo Tienda.
And the first half, I think Tienda had about 30 yards. And here in the last 3, 4, 5 carries, he's made all the same total as he did earlier. Matthew, can you give us what Tienda has done here in the second half?
Yes, Tienda had 26 yards in the first half, but a major momentum change for him as he has 39 in the second.
Big time difference for Tienda in the second half. And we know if Tienda gets the ball running, the Cardinals can score. Here we go. He comes out of the game, though, because he's injured. René Medina's in at the tailback position. He's going to get swallowed up at that white defensive line right there.
Yeah, there's just absolutely nowhere to go. I think this defensive line has decided that they do not want to lose to this team giving up the run, as those 3 big interior defensive linemen just beat their blocks, and they all meet the new running back. They said, welcome to the game.
That's a big defensive line, Jonathan. I mean, both Jonathan and I are above 6'4" or so like that. I mean, those guys can match up with us. They're big dudes. All right, here we go. 2nd and 10 now. Keeper by Gonzalez had everybody fooled, including me up in the press box, and you should have the first down and more. That's about a 13. Give him 14 yards on that run by Michael Gonzalez. That's a pretty swift run right there.
Great run right there. We see a great job by him pulling. This time we watched before, he was pulling even though the defensive end wasn't crashing in. This time number 94 of the defense crashes in, so Gonzalez makes the right play pulling, and then he had his receivers making good blocks down the field, giving him even more yards.
1st and 10 now, and the Cardinals have broken into Panther territory. Ball on the 48-yard line. Gonzalez now pitch out to Medina. Medina trying to hit the right side, but Medina not finding as much space as Gonzalez did in the first time, and I don't know if he'll gain anything on that one.
And that was a very good 1-inch run by Medina as he had about 3 defenders to beat 3 yards out of or within on his side of the ball, and somehow he's able to get 1 inch out of the play.
Well, I'm looking on the field, or on the sidelines rather, for Tienda, and I don't see him. I know he came out about 4 or 5 plays ago, and you know, just like Matthew had mentioned earlier, he has started to get those wheels going, and now he comes to the sideline with an injury, so I have to keep an eye out for number 28. Medina still in the ball game at the tailback position. 2nd and 10 now. Again, Gonzalez on the keeper. This time coming of a double option fake, if you will. He's going to have enough for a first down. That's an 11-yard run for Gonzalez.
And I did find Tienda on the sideline. He started walking over to the offensive coaches. It looks like he's wants back in the game. He does have a little bit of a limp, so he may be a little limited throughout the rest of this game, but we'll have to see, as right there Gonzalez has another great run. Gonzalez has been leading the way in the running game until the beginning of this half, as Tienda was starting to get some traction, but now that he's taken the ball the last few times, he's getting it as well.
All right, Gonzalez now. Keeper again on the right side, calls his own number, but this time he's tackled quickly and violently at the legs right there by number 22, Ricky Garcia, who had that fumble recovery earlier.
He had that fumble recovery earlier. Here, Garcia, he's coming off of his block. The receiver's trying to get him. He breaks away and gets there, but there was a flag on the play, and it looks like it goes against the defense.
Goes against the defense, so the Cardinals are going to get a little bit of break here. I think they'll get that first down and 5. Tienda's running on the sidelines. He wants back in the game, Jonathan. Medina's been in there, but really hasn't done much in the couple carries he's had. Gonzalez has been having to carry the bulk of that running duty. So Gonzalez still in there again with Medina on that pistol formation. It looks like we're going to have the end of the third quarter, just like that, folks. End of the third quarter, 3-0. I mean, if you would have asked me before the game, if I had predicted a 3-0 going to the fourth quarter, I don't think I would have. I don't think it was going to be that low scoring. But it's 3-0, folks, and the Cardinals are driving, putting together probably the more impressive drive of the evening so far.
Well, it seems like the chess match by these coaches has worked, as both of them just figured out how to stop the offense of the other team. But who will be the one to take it at the end? It's 3-0, still anyone's ball game. You don't want to leave, as this game has been flying fast throughout. The clock has just been going as both these teams have been attacking on the ground. And so there really has been no stoppage of the clock throughout the game.
All right, now, here we go. Ball on the 32. 1st and 5 for the Cardinals after that penalty. We have 5 wide receivers this time. Don't be fooled. Gonzalez likes to run it. And there he goes again. Tucks it, runs it up the middle. Gain of 1, 2, 3 yards for Gonzalez.
It looked like he didn't have much there, but he was able to get enough for now the third and short. And although he does lose one of his offensive linemen coming off the edge now.
Yeah, number 68 comes out there. It's going to be a second down because they had the penalty that gave him a new first down. So we're in 1st and 5, and now we're going to be at 2nd and 2 for the Cardinals. And here we go. Gonzalez in. Tienda is back on the field, so he wanted back in, and he got back in. 2nd and 2 now. Gonzalez has his partner there. Gives it to Tienda. Tienda pushing forward. He's going to get hit like a pinball there back and forth, but he's going to call it really close to that first down marker.
And Tienda does not get up quite as fast as he was on other plays, so there is something bothering him just a little bit, and they really punished him on this play as he's met hard, and then he's met again to finish the tackle. He's lucky he didn't fumble it there on that one because he was punished. But he did get himself the first down.
First down play, very tough first time. He went forward, hit, turned back, got hit again in the chest. So he was hit hard. He's still in there. Along with Michael Gonzalez, he's got 4 wide receivers there. Like I said, they do the spread kind of offense, but they run it. And here it is again. Gonzalez is going to fake the Tienda and then take it himself. But this time he stopped really quickly in that backfield there. I think that's number 72 for the Panthers, Rene Perez, wreaking all kinds of havoc.
Well, he just does a great job of keeping himself able to get both the running back and the quarterback. He's the free unblocked defensive player that they're reading, but he just squats right into that little zone where he can do both against the running back and the quarterback. Gonzalez tries keeping it, and he's right there to meet him.
Gonzalez now going to look to pass on at the end on the outside, trying to set up a little screen, but there's not a whole lot going there. Going to gain about 3 yards on that screen to Tienda. But no more.
Yeah, Tienda decides to go right back towards the middle of the field. I think he should have tried hitting along the edge. The defensive backs, though, did a good job of sealing the edge, and he forced him to come back in where he's met by a ton of defenders, and he gets hit hard once again.
Including number 72, came all the way across the field to make that tackle, man. That guy's all over the place. 72, Rene Perez for the Panthers. All right, 3rd down. Going to give him a long 7, call it 8. Gonzalez, keeper again, tries to get outside. Lots of white jerseys there. Nowhere to go. He's going to lose about a yard on that play.
Yeah, there's nowhere for him to go as he tries breaking it a little tight to the left, and then they force him back inside. He tries cutting it back out, and he's just met by many of these defenders. I think the defense has figured out that they had been giving up a lot of rushes, or a lot of edge rushes, and now we see the kicker. He's missed 2. Now he's going for his 3rd one. He's trying to tie the game. Big pressure moment. They froze him in the first half. This time they try freezing him again. Weslaco saw some success freezing him as he missed the second one, which was a pretty easy field goal for him to make. We know he has good power. As Matthew, how far has his attempts been tonight?
Tienda has kicked a 52-yarder, which was short, and a 31-yarder, which was wide right.
All right, so attempting 2, and I believe that's Giovanni Guillen, and he's going to be attempting his 3rd one. This one's going to be lined up at 44 yards. This is not a short field goal for a high school kicker, but he's going to get a shot here to tie the game up. It's 9:04 left to go in the ball game, folks, 3-0, and the Panthers have been able to retain that really slim lead into the 4th quarter, but the Cardinals are going to try to get this field goal up. Stay tuned right here. 44-yard attempt coming up for Giovanni Guillen. It's a low snap, but he's able to place it. Kick is up. Does it have enough? No, it doesn't. And so Guillen will miss his 3rd field goal of the night, missing an opportunity to tie the ball game.
Well, they went for it earlier with about 50 yards to go, so you know that he has the ability to hit a really long one. That time he falls about 3 yards short. From distance, it would have been hard to tell, but those referees are right there. They could see that it clearly came about 2-3 yards short. So once again, the Cardinals get in scoring range, but they have not been able to put any points up on the board. if this offense of Weslaco could get rolling, they could take out almost the entire clock.
All right, handoff, here we go. Number 28, finding some space on the outside, spins. A little bit of energy found there by 28, Eric Gonzalez. And he's going to gain about 7 yards on that carry.
There's 8 minutes, 46 seconds left to go. Weslaco's offense has finally gotten a big first down play. And so now they'll be second and short. I imagine they're going to continue to run the ball. But if they're able to get a couple first downs, Aaron, they could really limit what this Cardinal offense is able to do in response to however this drive ends.
2nd and 4 now for the Panthers. You know, I'm watching that sideline for the Panthers, and let's not forget that that's Tony V over there on that side. Tony Villarreal is a legend here in Valley football, and he definitely knows how to coach in the playoffs, as does Manny Gomez. So really just a really good battle today of two really good programs, historic and all that. So Panthers, like you said, trying to wear out that clock. Another gain of about 2 yards on that one.
Now, earlier before the game started, we talked about the experience of all of these, both these teams. The Cardinals, all these players have grown up seeing their Cardinals play playoff football. Weslaco has gone 4 years in a row, so the entire experience in high school for all of these players, both the Cardinal and Weslaco side, they know what playoff football is about, and so it will be very interesting how they both can close out this game.
3rd and 1 now, crucial 3rd down. I think he's going to have this one as you just see him dive across that pile. That's number 25 for the Panthers, Jonathan Martinez. I think he's got it. He does. 1st down.
Yeah, he crossed over about half a yard into the first down area, so he'll get the first down. Good job by the defense of the Cardinals making the stop, just not with far enough back as Weslaco continues to advance down the field.
1st and 10 now for the Panthers. Ball on the 37-yard line. Handoff again. Finds some space up the middle of the defense now. Spinning 50. Barely taken down at the 45-yard line. That's number 28 for the Panthers, Eric Gonzalez. That's a big-time gainer for the Panthers.
And great second effort. The initial blocks are all very good, but then he takes a nice cut up the field, and then he spins off 2 defenders, keeps his balance somehow until he's chased down by number 40 of the defense. That's Sam Gonzalez. Earlier, Sam saved a first down. Right there, it looks like he might have saved a touchdown.
1st and 10 now for the Panthers. I believe that was a 16-yard gain. Is that right, Matthew? On the running back there. Big-time gainer by the running back, Martinez. 1st and 10 on the 45-yard line of the Cardinals now. Handoff again. This time, black and red jerseys all over the place. This will be no gain for the running back, number 25.
Yeah, right there, they try attacking the left side, follow those big offensive linemen. They had a couple of backs or one back lead blocking, but just too many Cardinal defenders right at the point of attack, and they're not able to get anything. They're lucky that they went. It hit so fast that there was not much penetration. Had it been a slower hitting play, that penetration from the Cardinals would have gone well into the Panthers' range.
2nd and 10 now. Ball still in the 45. 6 minutes left to go in this ball game. Panthers lead 3-0. Big time gap up the middle of the defense there for number 20 of the Panthers. That's Brian Guerra, and he's going to get about 9 yards on that carry.
This time it goes to the backside, so there's a few misdirections as the front side back goes to the left, and then the second back comes across the right side. He's the one that gets the ball. By then, the blocks had developed, and he gets himself close to the first down as it'll be 3rd and 2 to go, and the clock continues to roll. So the clock is becoming the enemy of the Cardinals and the friend to Weslaco as the clock continues to go down with about 5 minutes and 24 seconds to go.
Timeout. That's going to be Weslaco's last timeout of the ball game right there. With a timeout called at 5:23 left to go in the football game. And it is 3-0 Panthers. And you talk about a timeout in this crucial situation, Jonathan. It's 3rd and 2 right here. A lot hinges. You get the first down, go ahead. You're going to continue to kill that clock. And it gives the Cardinals less time to go. So crucial play call right here coming up for Tony Villarreal.
This will be a crucial play call. I have to wonder, Aaron, earlier they were able, we know this Cardinal defense, they play very aggressive. Coach Gomez coaches them aggressive. They attack aggressively. We saw them use a sweep earlier and get a lot of yards on the play as they have these backs coming on the edge. I wonder if that they've been maybe waiting because they got about 8 yards, but they've never used it again. I wonder if maybe this is a good time to just throw in the little bit different play.
We'll find out here shortly, folks. Hey, thanks for listening live audio here from Bogus Stadium, valleycentral.com, along with KHGN. Just an awesome team here, KHGN, bringing you this live audio team from the students and the staff and all that. And big thank you to our school district here at HCISD and Dr. Art Cavazos for just the support and being able to bring you Harlingen CISD footballs. Here we go. Big time toss to the outside. Will he have it? Yes, he will. That's a big time first down for the Panthers.
Yeah, it looked like there was a shot at the Cardinals defense making the stop, as it looked like the fake was going to be a little too slow and there was a lot of penetration, but they do get the ball out to the edge, and there were only a couple of Cardinal defenders on the edge. But big number 90, Edwin Gasca, makes the tackle, but not until they get the first down. So now the Cardinals need to start getting themselves to where they can make some stops, because pretty soon the clock will run out on them. That you need to give this offense a little bit of time.
Here we go. First and 10. Ball on the 34-yard line for Weslaco. Weslaco, Rodriguez. Handoff. Nowhere to go. No gain on that play. I thought Rodriguez still had the football. I thought he was going to throw it downfield.
I thought so too. He did a great fake of as if though he was doing play action. But the Cardinal defense is all over the runner. And so now we have 4 minutes, 25 seconds to go. The clock continues to run. They have about 25 more seconds to go on the clock. Weslaco has begun to take their time as they're all sitting there in the huddle, standing straight up. They are not going to get onto the line of scrimmage anytime soon. And now the play comes in. This Cardinal defense, Aaron, they need to make a stop. In order to give their offense a chance, they have to make a stop here or within the next group of plays.
Here we go. 28 off the right-hand side again. Spinning around. It's going to gain about 5 yards on that play. Does number 28, Eric Gonzalez. Going to bring him a third down and about 5 to go. We're now under 4 minutes left to go in this ball game. Weslaco still in control of the ball game with a 3-0 lead.
And big play right there by number 2, Adrian Vasquez, as there was a lot of room along the edge, but he just chases down the runner and is able to bring him down. Big third down play right here with 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter.
All right, 3:25. Just watching that clock, as I know some of the Cardinal players looking over to the side. So are the fans. Like you said, the time is not a friend of the Cardinals here. They need to come up with a stop, and Weslaco needs to keep punching it forward. 36 now for the Panthers. Handoff, and he's hit hard in the backfield. That's before he could even really get the handoff. And do they have a game on the offense there? So that play doesn't even count.
They're almost lucky that it was a delay of game, because that play does not exist. It did not happen. Great play by the Cardinal defense, though, getting that penetration. He was met hard. It almost looked like that famous Jadavian Clowney play. The defensive lineman just came right in on the runner.
3rd and 11 now for the Panthers. So pushes them back a little bit, but they get to replay third down. They had a 3rd and 6, now 3rd and 11. Panthers come to line of scrimmage. 9-8 left to go on the play clock. Snap, handoff, up the middle, a little bit of a gasher, spinning, but tackled number 20 on that run. Brian Guerra is going to gain about 5 yards.
And here it gets a little bit interesting right here, because they will have a 4th down and a long 5 yards to go, but it is at the 30-yard line, which puts them in that range of where they may go for it here on 4th down. It looks like they're discussing it, and it looks like they're most likely going to go for it. So the defense just has to step up one more play right here. If they're able to get off the field, they'll have the ball with a little over 2 minutes to go.
Big time 4th down. Stay tuned right here. 4th and 6 for the Panthers. Keeper. Pass. Intercepted by the Cardinals. Elijah De Leon to the 40, the 45, 45, 40, 35. Out at the 32-yard line goes number 6, Elijah De Leon. I'm sorry, that's Felix Reina. Felix Reina on that interception. Sorry about that, Felix. That's a big-time play for the guard. You talked about it, Jonathan. Got to step up. Big-time play.
Big-time play right here as he comes back, and Gasca puts pressure on the quarterback. It looks like it would have been a good throw, maybe even to get the first down, except that number 6, Felix Reina, was right in the way and goes right into his hands. And then he puts a good return on it, a great return, as he caught it at about the 25-yard line, and he takes it all the way to the opposite 30.
Michael Gonzalez now in at shotgun formation. Cardinals has some juice behind him now. Trying to get to the outside of Tienda, but he's going to be tackled there by about 4 different Weslaco Panthers. And he's going to gain about 2 yards on that one.
2 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. The defense of Weslaco did a good job there of protecting the edge and then tackling them inbounds to keep the clock moving.
All right, Michael Gonzalez now. They're hurrying up to the line here. 2nd and 8 now. Under 2 minutes left to go in this ball game. Gonzalez, keeper, left side, space to run. Got a blocker on the outside, down to the 20. Flag on the play, they'll hold it. And that's probably going to be holding on the offense, and it is.
I did see the hold. It was on the left edge as they were just trying to hold the block. You know, you want to hold the block because you know your quarterback or running back are going to go right through that area. He just holds it a little too long. I think if he had let go, even though it was a hold, I think if he had let go just a little bit sooner, they wouldn't have called it. But because he held it as long as he did, the referee had no choice but to throw the flag.
That's going to be a big-time penalty. That's a spot foul. So it's going to bring up about a 2nd and 18 or so. And a timeout, Cardinals. Matthew, you got something for us there?
Yes, Aaron, the Cardinals can't really rely on the passing because out of the 5 attempts they've had 2 screens which have gone for 5 yards, 1 incomplete pass, and Renninger and Gonzalez both combined for 2 interceptions.
That's exactly right. And so we know, and we've seen that kind of track go on throughout the game here, that Cardinals really have to rely on their running game because the passing game just has not been there for them tonight. And it's hard to rely on a running game when you're behind. But the one thing that the Cardinals got was that huge interception return that gave them some really good field position. But now they're faced with a 2nd and 16 with 1:37 left to go in the ball game. Ball's on the 36. We've seen the field goal kicker, Yen, miss 3 times tonight. And so how's your reliability after missing 3 field goals on your field goal unit?
You have to start feeling the pressure. You know, he's a high school kid, so the pressure has got to be on. It's high-stakes playoffs. Everyone's watching. There's people listening at home. And then he's already missed 3, so his confidence has got to be down. But you only have to make 1 to tie the game. Right. And if you score the touchdown, you win the game.
2nd and 17 now. Gonzalez is going to keep this one, trying to get it upfield as much as possible. Big hit from the Panthers there after a gain of about 4 yards for Gonzalez.
And right there, that's number 8. Jordan Nichols. He's standing there right in the middle of the field waiting for Gonzalez, puts his shoulders down, meets him helmet to shoulder, and takes Gonzalez down hard. But Gonzalez is a tough runner. He gets right back up as he's ready to go 3rd down, a minute to go at the ball at the 33-yard line.
3rd and 13, ball on the 32. They need to get this upfield to give the kicker a good field position, and they don't. He goes backwards for a loss of about 8 yards on that one, putting the ball at the 40-yard line. 4th down for the Cardinals.
And Gonzalez is upset as it looks like the blocking just did not develop at all. As there are 3 Panthers around the ball and 2 right in his face making the tackle.
Well, I tell you what,
50 seconds to go.
Yeah, this ball's on the 40-yard line, Jonathan. I mean, this is way out of range of the kicker, even if it, you know, it's just out of range. You're looking at a 47, 57-yarder. You got a 4th and 21, 50 seconds left to go. I mean, we just heard from Matthew here. The passing game hasn't been there. What are you going to do? This is 4th and 21. What's going on in the huddle right now?
This is the play of the game, Aaron, right here. If they do not get this 1st down, Weslaco gets the ball. There's only 2 timeouts left for the Cardinals as they just burned one right now. And so they have to convert this 4th down. It's got to be well out of the range of the kicker as the ball's at the 40. So they can't really kick a field goal to tie it.
Yeah, we got a little bit of personnel substitution down here. They're trying to.
They bring in number 14 to play quarterback for him. I think
Victor
this is
Ochoa.
an obvious passing down.
They're going for a field goal, folks. This is a 57-yard attempt with a different kicker. 57-yard attempt here for a high school football kicker. The kick is up. It will not have it as it lands at the very back of that end zone, but they went for a 57-yard field goal with number 88 for the Harlingen Cardinals, Jose Lugo.
And it has a good amount of distance. I think he might have been in the range at about 49, 50 yards, but 57, just too much for him to overcome, is not able to get the ball far enough. And I believe that's the victory unless a miracle happens for this Cardinal defense to recover the ball. Maybe a bad snap. They still have one timeout left. And they take the knee, so that'll take down the clock.
57-yard field goal attempt on the field tonight before our very own eyes, folks. And I tell you what, if he had just a little bit more of a slight breeze behind him, that was makeable for that young man. But I tell you what, that's, wow. Do you think just the lack of confidence in your passing leads you to try something like that, Jonathan?
Well, I think so. I mean, it's 4th down and about 25 to go. We've seen it all night long. They only have 4 yards in the passing game. They thought this kid obviously had some good power on him. Definitely. It went right down the middle. Would have been good if he had about 5 more yards of wind behind him.
It's just one of those calls where if he makes it, you're a genius, and if he doesn't, people are going to question that, right? I mean, it's just one of those things. You know, you got to take a risk sometimes. And so, you know, they risked it. 57-yard field goal attempt. It came up short. We have a 2nd and 11 now. 42 seconds left to go. The Cardinals are out of timeout. So essentially here, I mean, really, the Panthers are going to look just to kneel it. It should be ball game here unless the Cardinals are able to leap over that offensive line. They're planning something down there. All right, here we go. Paul Rodriguez under center now. He's going to just kneel it. They do try the jump over, but that's going to take it down. We're down to 35 seconds. That's ball game, folks. I mean, really, bring up a 3rd down, but no more timeouts. And the Weslaco Panthers are going to come away from this one with a 3-0 stunner at Bogus Stadium, right? And what a game we've had, just really pure defense. And the Harlingen Cardinal season will come to an end here tonight at the hands of the Weslaco Panthers, who will move on to face, it looks to be, Laredo United. Jonathan, what a game, man. You know, just, wow. It went fast, too.
And the game just flew by as both these teams, they decided to go with power rushing attacks. The clock just continued to roll. But some big turnovers by the Harlingen Cardinals, and it does